Guten Tag. What's going on, guys, and welcome back. It's episode number 80 of the Football Manager Save, and for the first ever time, I've moved teams within a save. Yep, after 8 years at Bournemouth, I've left the club and left the country, and have arrived as the new manager of Borussia Dortmund. So there's loads of stuff to get through as we begin season 9 and our first in the Bundesliga. Let's crack straight on. So for those of you who may not follow football as closely, a quick brief overview of Borussia Dortmund for you first. They are one of the major clubs in German football. They have won the Bundesliga, I believe, 8 times, and also they're one-time Champions League winners as well. They have an absolutely massive stadium. It is the Signal Iduna Park. If you've not seen it, it is huge, absolutely huge, and they've got their own sort of cop, their yellow wall, which is amazing. Absolutely incredible atmosphere there at the Signal Iduna Park. Again, in terms of the honours they've had, they are one-time Champions League winners back in 1997. They are runners up to Bayern Munich in 2013 as well. The last time they won the Bundesliga, back-to-back in 2011 and 2012. Since then, they have yet to recapture it in 18 years. So, yeah, it's a club that's been starving for success, and the only major honours they've won in the save so far have been the German Cup in 2024 and 2026. So, yeah, just 2 major honours they've won so far in the save in the past 8 years. They've got state-of-the-art training facilities, state-of-the-art UCs. They're a massive club. They're an absolutely massive club. And I kind of liken Dortmund to Liverpool, really. A massive, massive club. And there are quite a lot of similarities between the two clubs as well. Their main rivals, you see there, Schalke, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Bochum, but also I'd say the big one nowadays is the Der Klassiker against FC Bayern Munich. So, quick overview of Borussia Dortmund's financial situation, and it's very healthy indeed. They've got just under $250 million in terms of bank balance right now, and they gave me a monster transfer budget as well, which I spent every single penny in this summer. Really excited to show you what I've done with the club in terms of the transfers so far. And the wage bill is kind of similar to Bournemouth's, really. And although whilst we don't have the TV money that Premier League can boast, we are a much more marketable club, so we'll raise a lot more income than Bournemouth were able to do, if not through TV money, through sponsorship and also match day income as well, with the fact our stadium is like 3 to 4 times bigger than Bournemouth was. So in terms of the transfers, I want to show you very briefly what I've done so far. Now, when I arrived here, Dortmund had sold one of their good young prospects to Düsseldorf for a small transfer fee, but I haven't made major changes in the first season because the team is, to be fair, still pretty decent. We sold a youngster to Villarreal for £3 million. We also loaned out one of their good young forwards here. As you'll see on the left-hand side, I've bought in a new striker, so I loaned him out to Mainz to see how we get on there in the Bundesliga. And we also sold a couple of players as well. Katterbach, who's now 29 years old in this save. He's a decent left-back, but I didn't really feel the need to keep him. And also Benjamin Pavard, who was in the final year of his contract on 140 grand a week. So I wanted to thin the wage bill out a little bit, made the squad slightly younger as well, and I've definitely done that. In terms of incomings, as you'll see, I've bought 5 new players in and spent £175 million. We'll start off with Benediktsson. He is a young Icelandic left-back who only turned 19 a week ago. So, you know, Dortmund have this great reputation of bringing in good young talents and then developing them for the future. I want to stay with that philosophy as well. We signed him from Ajax for 6.5 mil, and he was a pretty decent player, to be fair, young Icelandic fullback, but the most exciting youngster is this one here, Luis Flavio, a young Brazilian defender who can play both left back and centre half. He's described as a wonder kid, physically really, really quick, great agility, great stamina as well. Mentally, yeah, he's pretty decent, but very aggressive indeed, and technically not too bad at just 18 years old, and he's 6'2" as well. So yeah, really talented young Brazilian defender coming in here from Internacional in Brazil. So yeah, definitely one to look out for, and he's our replacement for Noah Katterbach with a big free signings are here. You'll see I have signed 2 players from Bournemouth. I didn't want to sign all of my old boys at Bournemouth and bring them here, but I do want to sign a couple of players that I thought could do quite well for us. First, you know, Charlie Creswell was part of Leeds' side who got relegated last season. They put him on a transfer list for £36 million, and I decided to take him to the Bundesliga. At Leeds Academy, of course, had a great loan spell at the Den with Millwall, but since then he came back to the Leeds squad, was a staple in their team for all the years at Ellen Road there, and he's now gone for £36 million. He's in the prime of his career right now at 27 years old, and is a no-nonsense centre-half, physically strong, tall, good jump on him, 6'3", mentally superb, and technically as well, a really good old-school centre-half there. So yeah, Charlie Creswell comes in to bolster our back line. And also the two players I signed from Bournemouth were Enrique Araujo, who we signed a couple of years ago back in season 6 with the Cherries, and start of season 7 with the Cherries, and he was playing second fiddle to Goran Kowal, so his game time was limited. But when he did get to start, especially in Europe and the Cups as well, his goal to game ratio was really, really good. So don't read too much into this here. We know, if you've been following the save, that he played a lot of games, but the vast majority were off the bench. But in the games he started, he tended to always bag a goal. So don't look at the league stats, but mainly the Cup and the European stats, where he was a regular starter and regularly on the score sheet. So Bournemouth decided to sell him to me for £56 million. We'll take that. Very happy that Araujo's in, and unlike at Bournemouth, he'll be my starting striker this year as our number 9. And the Dragon has come with me to Dortmund as well. Yeah, we know there was a bit of a saga with the Dragon last year. Wanted to leave to Liverpool. I didn't let him go. He had that monster extension, which meant he was never really going to go with me unless someone met a ridiculous fee. But after I left to Dortmund, I wanted to see if he would decide to stay in my absence or want to follow me. In the end, his issue was not with me, but it was with the club. Yeah, he had 3 good years with us after his 2 loan spells at Leicester and Sassuolo. And he was solid, absolutely solid as such a young defender. Really, really class young player. And for £60 million, what a great deal. This guy is just absolutely phenomenal. And this is why I didn't want to sell him. This is why I didn't want to sell him at Bournemouth, because he has got the world at his feet. Only 23 years old, physically sublime, tall, mentally great, and technically a great passer of the ball, as well as tackler as well. So yeah, in on a 5-year deal. And the Dragon joins me at Dortmund alongside Araujo as well. So yeah, lots of money getting spent. We've definitely improved this team. So this is the Dortmund team in full. As you'll see, it's quite a thin squad, but there's a big reason for that, and I'll show you in just a moment's time. But it's got some real quality here, no doubt about it. A few players have stayed, such as Gregor Kobel, who is our captain here at Borussia Dortmund. Salih Özcan as well, the Turkish holding mid, is here as well. Schlotterbeck is also here as well. I love saying that name, Schlotterbeck. He's still here as well as my vice captain here. Wait, is he vice captain or is Özcan? I think actually Özcan's vice captain. I think Schlotterbeck is still here as well. So a few of the original Dortmund players have stayed, and they've added to their team with some real good quality as well. Conor Bradley's joined from Bayern Munich 2 years ago. He's a fantastic right back in this save here. Luka Netz is an amazing left-sided player in this save. He is here after joining from Mönchengladbach 4 years ago as well, so he's going to be my starting left back in this team. They've also got Patrick Wimmer, who is really good in this save as well. He's had quite a decent career, to be fair, moving on from Bielefeld to Wolfsburg to Real Betis to Stuttgart, and now he's spent the past 3 years here at Borussia Dortmund. Really versatile player that can play on both flanks as well. James McAtee is here as well. Man City fans are all about James McAtee, great young player. He's here as our playmaker too. Oh, and yes, Giovanni Reina is still here as well. The American international is still part of our team here at Borussia Dortmund. And they've also signed this really good young Spanish forward. I see him personally as a good inside forward on the left. With the pace he's got, the agility, the dribbling as well. I know the long shots is incredibly poor, but I see him being a really good inside forward on that left-hand side. He can hit the ball with either foot as well, to be fair. But yeah, really, really good young forward that was signed from RB Leipzig a couple of years ago. So as I'll run you through the full team and their attributes here as well, it is a really, really good team, no doubt about it. We've added to it in terms of quality with Araujo and Creswell and the Dragon as well. But it's a really, really solid team. No doubt about it. Is it the best in Europe? No, it's not even the best in Germany, obviously, but it's still a really, really solid team. And of course, don't forget, we've also got Luca Romero, who you'll remember for a year and a half at Bournemouth. We signed him from Lazio. He was solid. In the end, Dortmund met the release clause. Romero has stayed at Dortmund since he left us back in season 3, I think it was, and he's been really, really solid as well. So really excited to link up with Luca Romero once again. But yeah, it's a solid team, but no doubt about it, it still will need to improve. We could still do with selling a few of the older players there, such as Nicholas Saul and I suppose Schlotterbeck in time as well. But it's still a pretty solid team we've inherited. But The reason why Dortmund sacked their manager last year is because, well, you'll see it here. Where's the European competition, you're thinking? Dortmund not in the Champions League, not in the Europa League, not in the Conference League. No, last year they had an absolutely abysmal season and finished in 8th place with only 13 wins all season long. They missed out of Europe altogether last season. And in the save, every single year, they'd be in a top 4 team. They'd be in a Champions League team. But last season, they tanked and ended up finishing outside of a European place. So the manager was sacked. They offered me the interview and I decided to go for it. They gave me the job and I am here as Dortmund manager, aiming to get them back in the top 4. As we know, Bayern Munich, they've won the Bundesliga now. I think I counted before I began recording, 18 years in a row. 18 years in a row. Look, are we going to be able to dethrone them in season 1? Absolutely not. Listen, it might take 5 or 6 years before you can even challenge realistically, but my job is to get Dortmund back in the top 4. That's my aim in season 1. The media think we'll finish in 2nd place this season, but to be fair, the Bundesliga is really strong. Klopp is in charge of Bayer Leverkusen, and they've got an absolutely fantastic team. RB Leipzig, with all the riches they've got as well, they'll be a team to watch out for, with Guardiola now in charge of them as well. Really, really solid team there as well. Then you've got the likes of Hertha Berlin, who, if you've played Football Manager over the past few years, you'll know that in real life, they're not very threatening. In the save, they turn into an amazing team in a few years. And then there's a few other teams that you consider dark horses in the Bundesliga to battle for a top 4 place as well. But my aim is get Dortmund back in the Champions League in season 1. So I don't think there's much else to show you before we crack on. I guess I will show you the hierarchy right now. My team leaders are Cabell, Ozcan, and also Giovanni Reina as well. The social groups, there are 4 splits because there always is after a transfer window, basically. And I have taken a few of my backroom staff with me as well. Like I said, I didn't want to just bring the old band with me to Germany, and sign every single one of my backroom staff and all my old players as well. But I have signed a few of my old coaching team as well. Dennis Bergkamp's come with me. Benny McCarthy's come with me. Colo Torre's come with me as well. My right-hand man at Bournemouth. He's my right-hand man here at Dortmund as well. But yeah, so I've signed a few of my old boys in the coaching staff and also a couple of old players as well. But what I didn't want to do is just sign everyone from Bournemouth and just make Dortmund a Bournemouth 2.0, if you will. So yeah, I've got a few of the old band, but not everyone. It's still a decent team, but certainly does need a lot more improving, and this is no doubt about it going to take a few years before we can battle with Bayern for what will be our first Bundesliga in, well, now 18 years. 18 years in a row. In terms of youth prospects here at Dortmund, by the way, there's not too many really. Again, we've brought in Benediktsson, the young left back, and also Flavio, the young Brazilian defender as well. But I haven't really inherited a good Dortmund academy, which you don't often say or think. There are a few players who are definitely quite exciting to look out for, but they're the phrase I'm going to use is they're 2 years away from being 2 years away. Toronto Raptors fans will know what I'm saying there. But yeah, they're 2 years away from being 2 years away. Basically, it's going to take time before these guys feature in the first team. So I haven't really inherited any sort of like wonder kids in the academy, really. If we're going to get those sort of players, we need to buy them in ourselves, I would say. I think that's pretty much it. I think that's pretty much all I need to show you. I guess the club vision as well, heading into the new season. Like I said, basically, it's get Dortmund back to competitiveness. Not win trophies, but get them back to competitiveness. The board know last year was a major letdown and the team needs a rebuild. So qualify for the Champions League. That's our aim this season. Finish in the top 4 and reach the latter stage of the DFB Pokal. Don't worry about winning a major honour this year. Don't worry about battling for Bayern. We just need to, again, work towards being recognised as the best of the rest. Bayern are dominant in German football. Everyone knows that. So really, just get yourself back into the top 4 and take it in stages. So I think that's it. So let's crack on with the first game of the season then, and it's going to be a DFB Pokal away day against Regensburg. So they're a free Liga team. And I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not going to lie, because realistically, the only silverware we could win this year is the DFB Pokal, not competing in Europe. I am a little bit nervous here. My first competitive game with Dortmund, it comes away from home, and I am a little bit nervous. I'm not going to lie, I am a little bit nervous. This is my first ever game and my first ever season moving clubs, and I'm excited but also nervous as well. So we will be playing a 4-2-3-1 Gegenpress system. It's very similar to the system we had with Bournemouth that wielded us quite a lot of good results. We're a high line, high press sort of team in Bournemouth, and we will be with Dortmund as well. I want them to play similar to how I played with Dortmund. Right now in the injury report, we're missing our backup goalkeeper, that's Hugo Barbet, and also Giovanni Reina is down with sprained knee ligaments, and Romero is not fully fit for this game as well. So heading into this then, my first ever game with Borussia Dortmund, DFB Pokal first round. Let's avoid a cup set and a loss in my first match in charge of Dortmund. So Cabell is in goal, the captain, and about for his Netz, Schlotterbeck, Cresswell and Bradley. Mia Drag, I am going to move him forward in this Dortmund team. I know with Bournemouth we normally played him as a centre-half. I'm going to move him forward and have him as an anchorman / DLP in this team. I know with his defensive stats and with the height he's got as well, he would work really well as a ball-playing defender, but I do see him sort of branching a little bit further forward with the great passing and technique he's got as well. So for me, the Dragon is going to move slightly further forward and play DM. We will play in BPD at times as well. So the Dragon is DLP alongside Ozcan, accompanied at Young Spangs on the left, Villas on the right, and McAtee Sports Enrique Araujo. On the bench, you got a young goalkeeper in Vladelis. I think I need to bring in a backup goalkeeper. Luis Flavio, Moulon, Sul, Morton, Podolak, Santos, Obradovic, and also Brunner as well. Going to take some time to get used to this Dortmund team. We do want to hit the ground running. First ever game in charge of Borussia Dortmund, and it's a cup game away from home. Come on, Dortmund. Yeah, I'm really excited for this, man. Like, really, really excited. I mean, I've never done this before. You know, for those of you that are new to the channel, I've never moved clubs in an FM save before. Not once. Not ever. This is my first ever time moving clubs within a save, and it feels like the right club for me. You know, it really, really does. It feels like the right club and the right situation for me to move on to. A club starved for major honours on the back of a really, really poor season. For those that are wondering what's happened to Moukoko, he left last season to Manchester United for £101 million. He left in January, and actually I'll show you before I end the episode. I'll try and remember to show you guys what happened, but basically he left in January for 101 million to Old Trafford, and then Dortmund just collapsed in the second half of the season. So I quite like this. It's the rebuild without the star striker Moukoko. It's going to be so fun, man. It's just a perfect project for me. Bradley down the right, crossing to the edge. Company flicks on. There's McAtee. Mia Drag almost scored our first goal in charge of Dortmund. Still 0-0, but a good start. Really asserted ourselves in the early stages here, as we're still tied at 0-0. Again, picked a really strong lineup for this game as well, because yes, we're overwhelming favourites, but I'm taking no chances. I am taking no chances whatsoever. I got flashbacks to season 2 when I was knocked out by Frank Lampard's Plymouth Argyle with Bournemouth in the FA Cup. I can't let it happen again. And our first goal with Dortmund, I think it's going to get chalked off. Yeah, Araujo is offside, and it will not stand. Still 0-0, but a fast start here. Just wait for that breakthrough. It's all Dortmund at the moment. The breakthrough's coming. Wimmer to Araujo, and this might be it. Enrique. Oh, blocked and turned behind for a corner. I'm backing Enrique. I'm backing him. He's our replacement for Moukoko. Is he as good? Obviously not, but we know what this guy can do when he's given the opportunities. That's what he wanted at Bournemouth, you know, to be a starter. But unfortunately, he was behind Garang Kawal, who was always going to start. Great save there as Company keeps the chance alive. But he's going to get it. I've trusted Enrique with that number 9 jersey. This is his chance to show he can be an elite striker in world football. I do not know how it's still 0-0 here, though. Surely that opening goal's coming. Well, it's been a dominant first half, and yet we still find ourselves tied at 0-0. Somehow, we have not found the breakthrough. It is coming, though. It is coming, and that's why, you know, I often say in games like this, just trust the process. Like, trust you'll eventually get that breakthrough and get yourself in front. Ozcan to Wimmer, and ahead of him is James McAtee. Araujo getting into the middle. Can he pick him out from a cross? No, deflected. And oh, wait. Well, it's the first goal for Dortmund, and it is an absolutely bizarre one. No less do we deserve. Cross deflects off the bar, and Araujo from 2 yards out could not miss. First goal in the Dortmund era, and it's one of my former players at Bournemouth, Enrique Araujo, who simply could not miss. A bizarre opening goal, but we will take it. And number 9 off the mark, it's 1-0. Well, second half begins, still leading by 1. Get a second goal and that will do it. And it's a great ball by the Dragon, and Araujo is through and couldn't pull the trigger. Lovely link-up play by the ex-Bournemouth boys there, but Araujo could not finish his second goal of the game. I can't believe it's still only 1-0 in a game we've absolutely dominated. It's James McAtee, and it's a brilliant save. How is it still 1-0? I mean, we're going to win the game, but I was hoping for a big win in my first game in charge of Dortmund. Goalkeeper's been on a mad one out there. Bradley down the right. Could we get a second goal at least? Enrique, there it is. Heads into Conor Bradley cross, and it's 2. Game over. It's all about gaining confidence, really. You know, we're going to have very difficult games in our first season in the Bundesliga. Getting to grips with our new team. So just get the testosterone flowing. And a big win in our first game in charge. And that is what we want. James McAtee makes it 3. We're into the second round. Well, it might have taken us a while to get that breakthrough. But once we did, this game was ours to control, which we did. And we will start off with a win in the DFB Pokal. We're into the second round. Lovely stuff. Well done, boys. But we know for sure we're going to have a lot more difficult games than that. But that's what we wanted. Testosterone flowing in our first competitive game. And it sets up our start to the Bundesliga season really nicely as well. Right, guys, that'll do it then. First episode of Season 9 in the books. And my first ever game moving clubs within a save is a expected success. We'll be back in the very next episode, and there's no doubt about it, we're going to have tougher games as we begin our Bundesliga campaign. I think we'll start off with maybe away against Mönchengladbach and home to Nuremberg, or possibly at home to Nuremberg and away against Schalke, or maybe away against Schalke and at home to Hertha Berlin. I don't know. A combination of these 4 games here. Have a great day there, guys. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the next episode in my Football Manager save with a new team. First time ever. I can't wait for the season to unfold very soon.